The Gem State is changing every day, and as it does, the Idaho Matters podcast will help you know more about the changing communities and governments and cultures of Idaho. Listen to Idaho Matters today at boisestatepublicradio.org or in your favorite podcast app.
Good morning. It's The Connector, Idaho Daily News from Boise State Public Radio. I'm Troy Oppie. It is Wednesday morning, February 26th. This morning, crews are making quick progress on a repair of the Eckert Bridge in East Boise. At City Hall, the Police Office of Accountability presented its annual report to City Council. North Idaho College nearly fully out of accreditation jeopardy, and Governor Brad Little says Idahoans are in good shape to withstand a potential economic shock. Those stories and more starting right now. Governor Brad Little yesterday signed House Bill 7 into law. It establishes a minimum $300 fine for anyone caught in Idaho with marijuana. The maximum fine for possession remains $1,000 under the new legislation, but the bill ends judges' discretion to not issue a fine for simple possession. Still on the governor's desk is House Bill 93. That would allow Idaho families a $5,000 tax credit for private school costs, more for special education students. The governor has until tomorrow late morning to sign, veto, or let it become law without his action. The governor's office has a phone line where people can weigh in on the issue with a touch-tone vote, 208-334-2100. The governor is also warning Idahoans of a potential economic shock as President Donald Trump slashes federal programs and the federal workforce. But as our James Dawson reports, Little says Idaho is poised to withstand the uncertainty.
The Trump administration has repeatedly said it wants to chop the size of the federal workforce. It's fired tens of thousands of employees in the past few weeks. Governor Little met with several cabinet members in D.C. last week to get a taste of their priorities.
They are going to want to reduce the size of government, and we states and we individuals are going to pick up part of the cost of it.
Little says that means state lawmakers will need to be prudent with their spending, and tax cuts in particular. He proposed $100 million in tax cuts during his State of the State address. House Republicans countered with a package costing more than $400 million.
If I would have thought we could do 450, I would have proposed 450.
The largest piece of that package, which would cut income tax rates, passed the House and is awaiting action in the Senate. James Dawson, Boise State Public Radio News.
House lawmakers will be able to weigh in on whether people receiving food benefits can buy candy and soda. The proposal from Republican Representative Jordan Redmond yesterday passed the House Health and Welfare Committee by a single vote. He says tax dollars shouldn't support poor dietary habits.
I'm asking for this committee and our state to move forward and help make Idaho healthy again by pulling out soda and candy.
House Democratic leader Ilana Rebel says she supports the idea, but she says the bill is written too broadly and could classify things like protein bars as candy.
I feel like this is not really tailored to actually weeding out junk food, and some of this stuff is probably healthier than potato chips and Jell-O and other things that aren't banned.
More than 130,000 Idahoans received SNAP benefits, formerly known as food stamps, in the federal fiscal year 2024. Last year, Boise Police Department officers killed 6 people, bringing the total since 2015 to 22. That's according to the Office of Police Accountability, which yesterday presented its annual report to the City Council. Julie Luqueta has more.
The OPA also completed 28 investigations of alleged police misconduct last year, finding that about half were substantiated. The majority were related to performance and rudeness. OPA data analyst Lexi Whitmore said BPD recorded 151 instances of officers either drawing a weapon or using physical force on a member of the public.
The presence of a weapon and disobeying officer commands were the most common reasons given for applying force.
OPA Director Nicole McKay recommended the department prioritize de-escalation techniques.
We have seen incidents where you will have multiple officers all yelling different commands at the same time. It's very chaotic.
She said the use of repeated shouting is ineffective.
It can result in conflicting orders by multiple officers. For example, don't move, show me your hands, get on the ground, do it now.
McKay also said the OPA supported data transparency and recommended the department hire more detectives and special victims unit staff to meet increasing caseloads. Julie Duqueta, Boise State Public Radio News.
A 35-year-old teacher at the COSA school in Wilder is being held on $1 million bond after being arrested last week for sexual assault of a student. Juvent Ramirez faces 2 felony counts. An archived version of the school's website shows he taught business classes. Ramirez no longer appears on the current COSA staff webpage. The Canyon Owyhee School Service Agency is a shared special education and alternative school serving about 1,100 total students across multiple rural communities in Canyon and Owyhee counties. New concrete has been poured under the Eckert Road Bridge in East Boise. Crews are working toward a temporary fix that could get the damaged river crossing open again before spring runoff season. The Ada County Highway District, in a news release, says work on the north side of the bridge is nearly complete. Crews will move to the south side of the bridge soon. Temporary repair work began just after Valentine's Day. The fix will allow officials more time to prepare a long-term bridge replacement solution. The bridge is closed to all traffic, cars, pedestrians, bicycles, while it's being worked on. North Idaho College officials are celebrating progress and moving fully back into the good graces of their accrediting agency. The Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities this week reduced the sanctions it imposed on the school in 2022 due to actions taken by a previous slate of trustees. School President Nick Swain says NIC has satisfied 6 of the agency's 11 areas of concern and is making progress on others.
There is somewhat of a tax that we have been paying because of the accreditation question. More difficult to recruit people, students maybe staying away, just a number of things.
Swain says NIC has been given another year to finish its work in the other areas. That includes reinstating confidence in leadership and trustees. He says staff has rescinded its vote of no confidence, and Swain expects faculty and students to do the same. Swain says the positive momentum is paying dividends. Enrollment is up 15% this academic year. Data from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration show the Malheur River crested yesterday in major flood stage, 23.5 feet near Vail in eastern Oregon. River levels have receded slightly as of Wednesday. The river there is about 3 feet from overtopping the levee, administrators say, that protects the city of Vail from major flooding. River levels above 24 feet threaten the safety of the levee. Downstream impacts of the flooding are starting to reach the Ontario area, and Highway 20 east of Gentura to Harper remains closed. Some parts of the highway are under 3 to 5 feet of water, according to the National Weather Service. Thanks for making The Connector part of your morning routine. Like and subscribe. That helps other people find this podcast. I'm Troy Oppie. Our news director is Sasha Woodruff. Our digital strategy manager is Lacey Daly. Our general manager is Tom Michael. Have a great Wednesday. We're more than just podcasts and a radio station at Boise State Public Radio. We're a trusted resource and a lifeline for communities across Idaho. It's up to all of us to safeguard public media's future. You can learn more at protectmypublicmedia.org. Together, we can ensure that Boise State Public Radio remains a trusted resource for you and your neighbors for generations to come.